All right, so I'll keep this short for now. We can do a Zoom call about it, but here's just a little something. So the way that I think he mainly plays this song is in the key of C, and so probably you've been working on that C chord, a G chord. So I think he also uses a G7, an F, and that's pretty much it. And so I don't know if anyone's talked to you about this before, but when you're seeing key, you're gonna see people like, all right, so okay, let's just look at a C scale really quickly. C scale goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the first chord, the C chord, would be called the 1 chord because it's the first note of the scale, right? So 1. And then we've got the G, so 1, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty classic, 1 to 5. 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. That F is the 4. 1, 4, 5, very classic. You can just recognize that immediately if I play that progression. 1, 4, 5. We're doing 1, 5, 4 in the song. 1, 5, 4. Or 1, 4, 5. Right, like you probably recognize a gazillion sort of songs that have that 1, 4, 5 pattern. All right. Anyway, but I think I'm thinking about the best ways for you to work on this. First of all of these chords are kind of augmented, which means there's an extra note added to them. And this would be called I think they call it a C over G, which is always really weird to me because to me it's really a G over a C. But essentially you take a C chord, which is your first finger on the C down here, right? The first fret of the B string, which is that second string up. And then your second finger on the E note, which is the second fret of the D string, or the third string down from the top. And then your third finger on that C, which is the third fret on the A string, second string down from the top, right? That's your normal old C chord. Okay, but this, if you want to learn the alternate picking, and once again, you're going to take this really slowly, you're adding that G up here, because that's what he's going back and forth between. 10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, someone was killed beneath the town hall light. A few at the scene, but they all agree that the slayer who ran looked a lot like me. She walked these hills in a long black veil. She visits my grave when the night wind wails. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows but me. Right, okay, so on the C chord, you do your regular C chord, but let's fuck it up. And actually, this is how I generally play my C chord, so it's good to learn because it gives you a richer sound. You're going to move that third finger all the way up, and this is difficult. If you haven't been playing in a while, you're reteaching your muscles. This is not easy, so take it slow. It just takes a lot of practice. Move that third finger all the way up, and your fourth finger sneaks in, right? Your fourth finger sneaks in underneath. So now your third finger, 1, 2, 3, is on the third fret of the E string, that low E string, that top string, and your fourth finger is sneaking right underneath it on the third fret of the A string. And you can play every single string. All right, but here's the trick. And here's how I think you should practice this. Don't worry about the up and down yet. That's a separate thing we're going to practice completely separately. Right now, I just want to work on hit the single note. That's that C. C, strum. Now you're not moving anything, and then you're just hitting G. It's a G note. G, strum. Right, but instead of going up and down, I just want to go boom, boom. And you can go slower. C, strum, G, strum, C, strum, G, strum, C. And honestly, that's probably enough to practice right now. If you want, you can try to add these other chords. F is kind of a hard chord, but sorry, when I'm doing these recordings, I make more facial expressions than usual because of the camera. All right, so So we're practicing none of the up and down. Now, if you want to practice up and down, you might actually just start going down. See what they're going down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So maybe what you do is separate it out. If you want to kind of work on both, separate your practice into 2 segments. One segment for now is just pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, strum. Now, while holding that same chord, you could also do a down, down, up, slower. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, without even trying to hit that other thing. Once you feel really comfortable, then you can move to. All right, I'll show you the other chords, which you probably already know, but just so you can feel it. The G7th, which I do think is what he's mainly playing, and it's actually easier here because you get to keep your hand. See, the thing is, your hand barely moves on this song. So what are we doing? You're removing your 4th finger. It's coming off. Your 2nd finger is moving up 1 string to be on the 2nd fret. Instead, it was on the 2nd fret of the D string. You want to move up to the 2nd fret of the A string. You're now playing a B note there. And you're moving your 1st finger down to the 1st fret. And this is where I think it gets a little difficult because that's kind of a bit of a stretch. I think that might be a little bit tough, but practice. So, all right. So, and then we're still keeping the same pattern here. I think on every single chord, you start with the higher note. And that would be the string that's farther down. So on this, you go. So you're plucking that B, strum, and then the G. So, right, so. 10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, someone was killed beneath the. All right, F chord. So I hope you get that. We've moved. I'll just do it one more time. You're releasing your 4th finger. This is the G7th again, and your 2nd finger is moving literally just up 1 string. Oh, and sorry, your 1st finger has moved down from the 1st fret of the B string, making a C note, and then you're moving it down to the 1st fret of the E string, making an F note. The F is the 7 in the G7. Why is it the 7? Because your note of the chord. All right, so G chord, right? So G scale. The 1 of a G scale is G. Well, the 8 of a G scale is also G, right? Because it goes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. All right, a 7 chord. This is where it gets fucking stupid. If you do a major 7 chord. Now, here we go. Confusing time. If you do a major 7 chord, you would actually play the F sharp in your chord. But generally, if someone says 7, they actually mean what's called a diminished 7th, which is the minor 7th or the flat 7th, which means instead of it being an F sharp, it's an F. So, and that gives it that twangy, super classic country chord. That chord has more of a southern accent than any other chord in existence. All right. Okay. Anyway, so that's that F. That's that 7, right? Because G, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. F sharp, normal. All right, anyway, sorry, moving on. F chord. Now, this is how you play an F chord. That would be how I would traditionally play the F chord. I'm flattening my first finger out to play the F and the C together. On the first, they're being pinched against that first fret, first on the E and B string, those two highest strings. Second finger comes up. This is a very, very hard chord for people, so really take your time with it. My second finger comes up to hit the A, which is the second fret on the G string, that third string up. And then my third finger comes all the way out to play the C, to play the F, again, sorry, that 1, right? The chord is kind of bookended by the F here and the F here. Very classic in chords to have a low root note and then the high root note to kind of mirror each other and add depth and complexity to the chord. Okay? But, once again, because we're doing an augmented chord and we're adding that other note in there, we're going to lift our third finger all the way up, put it up on the C, and drop our fourth finger in beneath, and that way we can go. Once again, you could practice that slowly if you want, without doing the up and down, just we're hitting the F, down, C, down, F, down, C, down. So we got C down, G down. This is the C chord. C down, G down, C down, G down, right? The G7th, we're going B down, G down, B down, G down. And then the F, we're going F down, C down, F down, C down, F down. 10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, someone was killed in the town hall light. A few at the scene, but they all agreed that the slayer who ran looked a lot like me. She walks these hills in a long black veil. She visits my grave when the night winds wail. Nobody knows, nobody sees, nobody knows but me. Okay, I hope that is a helpful introduction, but we can do a Zoom call where we can chat about it.